well, you can hang the art on it. Well, the museum didn't want just to hang the art. He wanted to have, for example, site-specific video installation, new installation. Jessica Steinhardt, fantastic installation runs across those oblique walls, gourmet, man, sort of at the tip of the building where you're really across the other side of the street, cantilever, facing the downtown. Very dramatic, new experience. And again, I have to say, art is about imagination. It's about creativity. If you cannot go to a creative museum, you're defeating art, because art is not a hospital to be, taken care of. It's an experience to be put across time. So that's really kind of getting serious on the museum. I also did something else on my own initiative, which I was lucky. It was with very good architects in the composition with Stephen Hall and Rafael Suzaki and Tom Main. And one of the issues was to build a garage. Everybody drives in Denver. You have to build a parking garage for 1,000 cars. So all the architects, my fellow colleagues, said, we'll put the cars on the ground and we'll have a nice park. Well, this is a public project. Citizens are paying for it. If I put the garage on the ground, there'd be no money for the building because it costs a lot to dig on the ground. So I proposed make a regular garage, state of the art, normal garage. But then I said, it's not very nice to have a garage. Why don't you build houses, condominiums, retail, create a plaza in the center of the city, right next to the state capitol, that's going to take advantage of this new complex and really become public. And I was lucky that developers thought it was a good idea. And this idea that I just had as a figment of my imagination actually was realized. So the entire plaza in the center, those blocks of condominiums and retail, behind it is a bus of garage which I built as the necessary part of the composition. Here you have it, the site plan. I closed one of the streets between 50th and 12th Street to create a real place with fountains and places to sit. And then you can see on top of the garage there's a garden. And I also did the building. You can see that every unit is different. Kind of unusual for a developer. Every unit I shaped to take advantage of the different views. And these museum residences right across, very different. There's the titanium of the building, the glass, and sort of contemporary look. And the garage entrance right on the left, which costs, of course. Interesting that the units that sold first and for most money were not the units facing the Rathaus, which is the norm, but the units facing the museum. And that tells me also something, that people all want to look at architecture, just like they do all the time. They don't want just to look at nature. They need something organic, which is also human. And I was glad that all these apartments facing, not the rocks were the most expensive ones. You get a sense here of them, and of course, the light of Denver, very, very special to take advantage of. And the conversation between the scale of the building, and of course the piazza itself, which is now attracted new development. The entire building complex has now attracted new developments around it. Another museum being built, so there's still there's housing being built, public buildings being built. So again, even a small building, well, this one is not so small, even a complex of buildings can create an impetus for a town to get back from the suburbs into the center of the city and reappreciate this ecological idea of sustainability, which is high density living. Very different place on the Ohio River. Now I'm building many housing projects, but I would say that most architects want to build museums. I started with 6 museums, luckily, and I thought, it's so silly. Everything is important in architecture, not just museums, but let's erase the line between museums, commercial projects, housing, hospitals, schools. They all need care and attention of architecture. So they need to build this dramatic building, very much, in the economic bracket of a profitable building, low cost, with this new amenities, laws, and so on. And it's that extends across from Cincinnati in the so-called the other side of the river, not the poorer side of the river. But I'm glad to say that this condominium is sold out almost instantly. All the people from Cincinnati go there because it's a better deal Cincinnati from the building. So there it is, large-scale apartments again. The building is not a box. The main wall is about a 25-story wall, which obliquely opens itself out. It's at the bridge. You can see all the layers of architecture in Covington. From the old architecture of America to the churches to the building of the 60s. And again, I told this Ascent and Roebling is the engineer who did the Brooklyn Bridge. So this is his first bridge, suspension bridge across the Ohio River. And I created a building that has something to do with the suspension, with the coloration, with the sailing atmosphere of the river that Mark Twain describes so often. So when I first started, again, very modest, but I think an important contribution to something else. Okay, in a very different place, you would not expect it in Switzerland. I was inspired to create a building for a mixed-use shopping complex, wellness complex, and I can't say always what you were inspired by. So what was I inspired by? I was inspired by my favorite Marx brother, not Karl, but Grasser. And in this movie, I don't know whether you've seen The Big Store, but it's a movie in which the Marx brothers move the big store, and it's kind of like anarchists, and take over the store, start living in the store. They think the store belongs to them. They bring all their friends, start using the beds, the kitchen equipment. I thought they had the right idea of what a